Jeremy, first I just have to start because I think the big political headline of the day has to be the meeting between Naftali Bennett and Mansour Abbas of the Ram Party. A meeting we're told was positive. What should we be reading into that meeting?
Well, you know, Kalev, I believe we're in a time where you can officially say pigs are flying. Things that seemed impossible, I would say even a month ago, today seem possible.
A time of miracles,
Look,
politically.
We're at a place where again, you have people who are working really hard to make sure we don't go to another election, and you have people who are trying to bring us to another election. And that's really what you saw today, and I believe that what you will see in the days ahead, and I'm pretty sure next week is going to be a very entertaining week. We're going to see a situation in which we will see more things happen that are perhaps something that someone might have expected might only happen in a science fiction type movie. So stay tuned. It's going to get more interesting.
Well, you're using a lot of pronouns here, so I'm going to have to fill them in. Are you saying Prime Minister Netanyahu wants to try to move the country to new elections? But there's been a lot of talk about whether this whole episode with the Justice Ministry may have given some impetus to the so-called change bloc, which Naftali Bennett could join, giving ammunition to those who say that even if Prime Minister Netanyahu were to offer a very good deal with Naftali Bennett, he can't trust the Prime Minister to keep it.
You know, I think it's very interesting when we heard how Benny Gantz was being offered the premiership, but then in the same day he was told that he can't be justice minister. I just feel that
And by the way, after this saga, this very evening, Benny Gantz still refuses to rule out the option of joining forces with Netanyahu.
You know, look, I understand everyone wants to go ahead and keep the cards to the chest and keep their options open. And by the way, I'll say this here, just in case it's not clear. Our priority and our first preference is still a right-wing government.
You've made that clear.
What we would like to see. But yeah, you know, when we're looking at a situation where Likud cannot even within the same day stick to their own talking points, when it comes to the same personality, it just becomes a situation where it's very difficult to take a lot of what's coming from there seriously. So, you know, I think a majority of people that are looking at what happened yesterday, some of them are scratching their heads. Other people are saying, you know, this just, you know, is something that what they've come to expect. But to me, I believe, you know, to everyone who thinks like me, this just shows why we need a stable government. This just shows why we need to form a government. This shows why we can't go to another election.
That echoes Naftali Bennett's reaction to what unfolded in cabinet. We need a stable government. Gideon Sa'ar too, to change the rule. Neither one of them, and again, Benny Gantz this very evening after this turbulent day, neither one of them is saying not with Netanyahu.
Because, you know, again, we need to explain, what does that mean that we want a right-wing government? We're a right-wing party. We're right-wing people. We want to see a right-wing government. We have a situation where, for whatever reason, the Prime Minister is not putting pressure on Smotrich. Perhaps it's because he needs him in the, you know, upcoming 5th and 6th elections, so he's afraid to go ahead and put pressure because he's going to need him in future elections. But he's not putting pressure on Smotrich. He's not, you know, willing to deal with any of the creative solutions. And there are creative solutions to be able to form a 65 MK, you know, right-wing coalition.
Such as allowing Naftali Bennett to be the first to go in a rotation government?
That's one possibility, but it could be someone else.
The worst possibility for Naftali Bennett is that Gideon Sa'ar will be first in rotation.
But I'm saying, it really, you know, people keep talking about that stuff like that stuff matters. It doesn't matter. What matters to us is to see a right-wing government. It does not, you know, it's not that it doesn't matter, but it matters a lot less who is, you know, the identity of who that prime minister is. You have to deal with the reality, and the reality is Gideon Sa'ar does not want to see Benjamin Netanyahu in that place, at least, you know, in the beginning. You know, possibly he'd be willing to see a situation where there would be a rotation. You can ask Gideon, you know, to go ahead and you know, speak more about that. But you have a situation here where we would prefer to do a right-wing government. We're in a situation where we feel that we are working more than a lot of other people who are going ahead and attacking us all day and trying to be able to do what's needed.
Jeremy,
yeah.